guys, today's big thought of the day is from The Magic of Thinking Big. Chapter 6, you are what you think you are. How you act determines how people react to you. How you think goes to how you act. And then what you do is the response you get from other people generally. People aren't always gonna respond the way you want them to, but you can only focus on you and do what you can do about it. And then you have to just accept what happens. Though it comes back down to personal responsibility, to extreme ownership, which is another video I just recorded in a book I just read by the same title. Remember, your appearance talks to you and it talks to others. Make it certain it says, here is a person who has self-respect. He's important, treat him that way. And this is an example of how kind of what you wear can follow to how you think about yourself and to how other people think about you. Something as simple as dressing a little bit nicer can boost self-confidence. They've done all kinds of studies with this. They've proven that when people wear nicer clothing, they tend to be more confident, they stand more upright, and they have better interactions with other people. They get better results. Here's a really good one. Think your work is important. Always have a purpose. There's a story often told about the job attitudes of 3 bricklayers. It's a classic, so let's go over it again. When asked, what are you doing? The first bricklayer replied, laying brick. The second answered, making $9.30 an hour. And the third said, me? Why, I'm building the world's greatest cathedral. It's powerful stuff, guys. I remember hearing a quote, I think it was about Roosevelt Teddy Roosevelt maybe. He talked to a janitor who was sweeping the floors in the White House. And he asked him, sir, what are you doing or how are you doing? I don't remember exactly what it was, but the guy said something to a similar effect that he's helping the United States by making sure that bathrooms are clean and everything's clean for the people that are doing the big stuff, right? And so he's just as important as everyone else, and he thought of that himself. And so it's a lot of times, it's how you think about your life and the things you're doing. And you can always find a grander purpose, and that's really the point with this type of stuff. You find a grander purpose for what you're doing. Maybe it's a means to an end, maybe it's a stepping stone. In fact, most of the time it is a stepping stone because we're always growing. You should be growing. If you're growing, then the thing you're doing now, even if you're making 10 bucks an hour, minimum wage, whatever that happens to be at the time, right? That's a stepping stone to making more money later on and to pursuing your bigger purpose and your bigger passion. You have to do those jobs. I worked at a restaurant, I bussed tables. My first job was at a movie theater making minimum wage. You just have to do these things as you learn and as you move up in life. And you should never, ever, and I don't like saying never, but you should never ever shortchange yourself or demean yourself by the way you think. And that's the big, real idea today. Always think as big as you can about the things you're doing, about the situation you're in. Find the usefulness in the situation you're in, and use it to your advantage, and use it to paint the broader picture. A friend who operates a personnel selection firm said this to me recently. One thing we always look for in appraising a job applicant for a client is how the applicant thinks about his present job. We are always favorably impressed when we find that an applicant thinks his present job is important, even though there may be something about it he doesn't like. You are what you think you are. Your thought power directs you to become. Think you are weak. Think you lack what it takes. Think you will lose. Think you are second class. Think this way and you are doomed to mediocrity. But think instead, I am important. I do have what it takes. I am a first-class performer. My work is important. Think this way and you're headed straight to success. The key to winning what you want lies in thinking positively towards yourself. The only real basis other people have for judging your abilities is your actions. And your actions are controlled by your thoughts. You are what you think you are. Really simple as that. You are what you think you are. So back for today's power thought, Master Thinking Big. You are what you think. Isn't it obvious why many people stay at one level all of their lives? Their thinking alone keeps them there. Now, to expand on this, even if you're the type that's in personal development and growth and you've been leveling up your life, right? Every step of the way you're gonna hit plateaus because the way you think now that's gotten you to this level, a lot of times you gotta break it down, you gotta build it down, maybe even completely destroy it and rise up like the phoenix so you can build new, right? Because every level in life, financially, personally, etc., requires thinking differently and doing things that might be different to get to the next level. That's why the pursuit of self-actualization is kind of a lifelong process because you're never gonna reach perfection. And every step of the way, every bit of the way that you get a little bit better, you're gonna have to do even more to get a little bit better beyond that. This is what makes life fun though. This is what makes life fascinating. This is why I love personal development, because it's a never-ending process. And even when you get good at personally developing, you're gonna always be hitting ceilings. And you have to bust through those ceilings if you wanna grow. And so I just love this as a reminder that every step of the way, for example, my personal life, I'm realizing that now as I'm growing Wild Foods, my whole journey over kind of the past 10 to 15 years, being an entrepreneur, my relative success, my different businesses and opportunities, some have done better than others, some I've kind of shut down to consolidate so I can focus on this. And now with Wild Foods, I have this big opportunity to have a very big company that can impact a lot of people around the world. And I've noticed that there's things that I like to do, like I used to like to be behind the scenes. And when I realized that I'm the best person to be out in front talking to you like I am now. So I made the decision to do the social media thing. As much as I think there's a lot of pitfalls of social media, as much as I have to prevent myself from focusing on the numbers and being obsessive about it and seeking external validation and comments and all these things, I've realized that my next level is to become a personal brand, to pursue our wild mission, to grow the company through me and through my face and through my words, because I'm the best person to do it at this point. And I hope to get more people involved doing this. But right now, for me to level up, I would say personally, professionally, and in business, I gotta keep doing what I'm doing right now. And this was a transition, right? I committed to getting this apartment, spending all the money on gear. I was into video and photography a while ago. A few years ago, I kind of got into it as a hobby and then fell by the wayside a little bit as I was growing Wild Foods because I had a lot of other things to do. And now that we've been able to grow the company, have help and have employees, I've been able to reduce a lot of those things I have to do and have other people take care of them so I can focus on doing my highest level thing, which is this, which is talking to you guys and building an audience and building dialogue with people that are following our wild mission and following a lot of these ideas like books and whatnot that are gonna basically help the world be a better place. That's what I'm trying to do. And I think great ideas and self-actualization and personal development can help us do that. I'm gonna hit a ceiling with this for sure. Like maybe I do this for a year and the next level is maybe I gotta start doing public speaking, which is kind of on my radar as something I wanna do. It's something that I'm kind of putting in the back of my head as I'll do it later because it's kind of a big project. I wanna be very good at it. This is actually a stepping stone to do that, right? Because one of my ultimate goals is to do a TED Talk, as well as have a New York Times bestseller. Every step of the way, it's gonna be another challenge, another thing I have to do, and it's exciting. And so when you can learn to embrace that, embrace the struggle. In fact, it wasn't easy to figure this out. In fact, I had this idea where I would do a podcast or I would do YouTube. I didn't really know where I would focus my time. And the more I thought about it, I enjoy editing, I enjoy doing videos. Doing a podcast is like a lot of coordinating with other people. And while I love doing podcasts, to actually manage one and host one seemed like kind of a big undertaking that would really limit how much I could get done because I'd be relying on other people and scheduling and whatnot. And so I decided that with this, all I need is a camera and I can literally record and pump out content, get better as I go, listen to the audience, find out what they like, iterate, grow. And so now I'm doing this. And now I feel like that decision, which didn't come easy, it was kind of like probably a 3 to 6 month process, kind of doing a little bit, thinking about it, doing a little bit until I was finally like, no, I'm gonna go into this. I have my goal is to do YouTube, right? My goal is to grow YouTube. So right now, that is my primary focus. And once I reach that goal, gonna be on to the next thing. What's the next thing from there? Okay guys, well that wraps up today's thought of the day. I hope that you take some action with this. Anytime you catch yourself thinking negatively, or even thinking positively, do more of that, do more of the positive thinking, and try to eliminate the negative thinking. Try to find what are you being negative about, what can you change to make that a positive, and what can you use from that negativity to help you get to the next level, because every negative thing that's in our way, every obstacle that's in the way is an opportunity to grow. We just have to position it as such. If you have any questions or comments, always leave them below. Make sure you slap the subscribe button, jab the thumbs up, or jab the subscribe, slap the thumbs up, whatever works for you. And you can reach me at info@wildfoods.co. Check out Wild Foods at wildfoods.co for all your superfood ingredients. And as always, thanks for watching and be awesome. Life is too short to be anything but your best.